Hey guys, welcome to Red 50. Today we're going to be showing you how to upgrade your navigation system on your Sync 3 system. We're going to be looking at 3 different ways you can upgrade your navigation system on your Sync 3 system, from the most convenient and user-friendly to all the way to the most expensive one if you got money to blow. We'll also bring up 2 pointers that you have to be careful with so you don't mess up anything while you're updating your navigation system on your Sync 3 system. So with that being said, let's dive right into the video. Alright, so I've got my 2019 Mustang GT, which did come with the navigation on the Sync 3. This works on any Ford or Lincoln vehicle as long as you've got the Sync 3 system. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on the car real quick so you can see the Sync 3 screen, and we're going to talk about the pointers that I just mentioned. Alright, so the Sync 3 screen is loading up, so let's wait for it to load up. And now that the Sync 3 screen is loaded up, as you can see, I have the navigation tab, so that is the sure way to tell that you do have navigation. But before we talk about upgrading your navigation system, let's talk about your Sync 3 system, which is very important because if you don't have the latest Sync 3 software, it's going to cause an issue with your navigation software. So the latest software available for most Ford vehicles is going to be Sync 3.4. So if you come to settings right here and you want to go ahead and go to general, so tap on this and then you want to scroll down and you want to come to About Sync. This is going to be key. So when you click on About Sync, you can see I've got the Sync 3 software version 3.4. If you don't have a 3.4 version, you want to upgrade to 3.4 before you do the navigation update. Trust me, this is very important because you don't want to mess up your Sync 3 system while you're doing the navigation update without having the latest Sync software. I've got a lot of videos on how to update your Sync 3 software via Wi-Fi or the USB, so I'll link them down below, so make sure you check that out if you don't have the latest Sync 3 software. Once you've made sure that you do have the latest Sync 3 software, you are ready to upgrade the navigation system. Now, unfortunately, there's no way for us to update it right from here because Ford loves to make it a little bit more complicated. So now that is out of the way, you want to make sure you have the latest Sync 3 software. The other thing you have to be careful with is your battery. The installation can take up to half an hour depending on the vehicle and what update you're getting. So you want to make sure that your battery is charged. You can have your car turned on and you can drive around, but I suggest you maybe stay at home while you're doing it because updating it behind the scenes, and you don't want the Sync 3 system to crash while you're kind of out and about. So I recommend staying home and making sure the update is fully done before you kind of move your vehicle. Now right now you can see my vehicle is just in on position. It's not actually turned on. So you have the battery icon and all that stuff. So if you have your update going on while the car is actually turned off or just in on position, it's using a lot of battery, and that could cause your battery to die in the middle of the navigation system update. So you want to make sure you don't do that. Alright, so now that those two things are taken care of, you've got the latest Sync 3 software update, you've made sure that the car battery is fully charged. So now you're finally ready to install the navigation update on your Sync 3 system. So let's talk about 3 different ways that you can update your Sync 3 navigation. Alright, so I'm on my computer now and we're going to go on syncnavigation.com, and I'm going to go ahead and give you the website and the description, but also put on the screen as well. But this is the main hub for your Sync 3 navigation updates for your Ford vehicle. So as you can see here, this is the home page. You are going to need the VIN number, and you're going to click on check available updates. So you make sure before you're doing that you get the VIN number. And the page that kind of gives you an overview of what they update every year, like new roads, speed limit updates, and all of that stuff is going to be updated. So once you get your VIN number, you want to go ahead and paste it into the box over there and click on check available updates. When you click that, you are presented with 2 different options in terms of how to update your Sync 3 navigation for your Ford vehicle. And here you can see we have the Sync 3 USB method, which is $149 plus shipping, and you also have the Sync 3 digital download, $109, and of course no shipping included. So those are the 2 options. We're going to talk about the third option as well. But for me personally, I prefer doing the Sync 3 digital download option because you can just put it in any of the USBs and you get it instantly. You can just download it and it's going to be very instant. But if you are not sure how to kind of copy and paste the information or the files, you can order an official USB from Ford or from Sync to get the maps into the USB, which will be provided to you as little as 2 days. Now, the third option, which is not listed here, is going to be going to your dealership, which is going to be the most expensive option, to be honest with you. It's going to cost you around $300 to $400 because not only are they going to charge you for the map itself, but they're also going to charge you to basically the labor cost to be doing that, even though it doesn't take that long. But I would probably say, all in all, you're looking at $300 to $400, and that would be very expensive compared to what these 2 options are giving you. So I would personally prefer going the digital download, but if you're not sure how to do this, I would probably go with the USB option to just be on the safe side. It's going to cost you a little bit more, but at least you know the files are correct. Alright, so I use the digital download option, so I put basically the update on one of my own USBs, and I have plugged it into my Sync 3 system, and you can see it has started updating. When you plug in the USB, it's going to prompt you to start the installation. It's going to detect it automatically, so you don't have to do anything, just plug in the USB. Now, I did this update earlier when I had the Sync 3.3 version, so you can see it's updating system software. Yours might say installation or updating navigation update or something along those lines, but as long as you have something on the top banner of your Sync 3 screen, that means the installation is happening in the background. The installation could take 15 to 30 minutes depending on various circumstances. So I would, caution you to just be patient and leave your car running so you don't run out of battery middle of the update. So mine is pretty much done, is here. And once it's done, it's going to prompt you with installation complete. So you're just going to go ahead and tap close and remove your USB first safely. So you want to make sure that no issues with that. Once your USB is removed, you're going to go ahead and click the close button here, and your navigation is pretty much up to date now. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video on how to update your Sync 3 navigation system. As you saw, it is very easy. There's different ways you can do it. Unfortunately, it is not free. You have to pay for it, whether you go through the USB method or go to the dealership. You're going to have to pay a little bit money to get the latest update. I just wish Ford would make them free or have a subscription. I think they used to have 5-year subscription where you could actually do that, but nowadays they have gone away from it, and it's only 1-year update, so you have to pay annually for an update. And with CarPlay and Android Auto, a lot of people, including myself, we don't get these navigation updates unless I'm driving somewhere remote where I'm not going to get signal. That's the only time I would use the car's GPS. As far as the update pads, I prefer to just do it with the USB myself. It doesn't make sense to pay a $30, $40 markup for them to just kind of feed it to me and have it in the USB. As long as you use a good enough USB, like a 32 gigabytes or so, you should be fine. And to me, it's just a lot simpler where I can just download it on my computer, load it up to a USB. I don't have to wait and just plug the USB in, and basically it does the installation in the background for you. Now, dealership, of course, if you don't want to mess with any of this stuff and you just don't feel good about it, that's where the dealership kind of comes in, where you will pay the most amount of money, but it will be done right, it will be taken care of, and if something does go wrong, they're liable for it. So in middle of the upgrade, something goes wrong and your sync is not working, they have to get you a new unit. They have to figure it out by themselves, and you don't have to worry about it by yourself. So that to me, like, yeah, dealership doesn't really make sense, but for someone who's maybe not technically advanced and they just want to not deal with the headache of it, that's what the dealership option is for. But me personally, I would prefer to just download the file on my own, find any of my old USBs, put the file in there, and do the update myself. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to smash that like button. Comment below which one is your favorite option for your navigation update. And of course, subscribe to Red 50 for more tutorials.